Well, this video is basically something about nothing, I guess. Kind of explains how I kind of got into working on machines and everything like that. My dad was a mechanic, had a shop at home. My mom worked at the shoe factory, so he would sort of babysit us down there in the garage, and he would let us help him. You know, he'd send us after a wrench if he's out of the car. And if we brought back the wrong one, this is my brother and myself, and if we brought back the wrong one, he'd just say, "No, son, that's not quite the right one. You need to get one a little bit bigger, and it'll be written on there what it is." So after a while doing that, well, then he finally let us get into taking parts off and cleaning parts up and so forth. So anyway, it progressed from there. So and later on, we got a little older. I guess we were like 9 and, I don't know, 7, something like that at this point in time. And so later, we got busy and got out there and had some junk around here. We couldn't afford to buy anything. And so just out of whatever we could find in his junkyard, so we made us a go-kart. Pretty primitive, but it worked. It did have a clutch. It did have a gas speed that you worked with a wire, but no brakes. We didn't feel we needed that, so that was good for a while. And then later my dad had an old 47 Champion Studebaker, and I wish we had kept that thing. It had the wraparound window, the 4 windows in the back glass. But anyway, he said we could do what we wanted with it, so we got a hacksaw and an axe, and we went to work on it. We cut everything off but the cowl with the steering wheel and you know, there was something to hold the steering wheel up, basically, and the brake pedals and all. Took the back end, cut it off, and we brought the rear end up. It had a 2-piece drive shaft, so we brought the rear end up to where it connected with the first drive shafts, and just U-clamped it on the frame. It had no brakes, no springs in the back or nothing, and didn't have a starter, so we had to push it and start it. And you had to start it in high gear, because second or low, you know how you normally push a car to start it in second. Well, this wouldn't work because the wheels run backward each other because not enough weight on the back. Well, that was a lot of fun for quite a while. And our next thing was we had a Model T frame out there, and we took that rear end that we used in our Studebaker, that and the transmission, and we put that on that Model T frame. And I don't remember what kind of front end it had. I really don't know. But anyway, it steered real easy without power steering. We had a Wisconsin engine, big old 4-cylinder VF4, VE4, whichever it was, and it sat right over the transmission with a pulley off the front of the crankshaft, went straight down to a pulley we had on the transmission. We started out with, we had a clutch on it, but that broke right away, so we didn't use a clutch. And it didn't have any brakes either. And you'd have to start it and get on. But, you know, but that was okay. You started low and it's real easy to start and take off. You had a hand crank, it didn't have no batteries on it. And so that was all good and fun. Then later we put a seat on the back, so the guy in the back was wanting to give it the gas. And the only thing the guy in the front did was steer and tell the guy in the back when to slow down. And to have some fun, when the guy said slow down, we speed up. Anyway, that was that one. Then we had another one. It was out of a Model T car body, or frame, and it had a T-body, a T-bucket. And that one was a lot of fun too, but it didn't last too long because I got the motor. This was later on in time. I worked at a fertilizer place, and the guy gave me a Wisconsin engine out of there, but it's sat in that fertilizer shed for a long time. Well, you know that pearl nitrogen and stuff that's in there, it rusts anything. It's just like having it buried in salt. Well, it ran for a little while, next thing you know, it just blew sky high. The rust was all in that inside. We didn't know it. We started up and ran it. That one kind of fell short, and then we had another one there. I don't remember how that was exactly, but it had a 6-cylinder Plymouth engine in it. I don't remember what the body style was. Well, that one didn't last too long either. We kind of changed over a lot of times, different things. While I was going to service, my brother and a friend of his, they had an old 390 Ford engine and an old Dodge. It was actually a Dodge 1-ton, but it had a 2-ton dual wheel axle on the back, and they fixed that thing up, and boy, you talk about leaving some black marks out there. I bet people wonder what kind of truck that was, because it was light, and that old 390 cranked that on right away, and it was just leaving them dual black marks out there on the highway a lot. So anyway, they had a lot of fun with that one, and I don't know, we had different cars. Most of the cars I had, I mean, we were poor back then, and most of the cars we had was, we bought them without a motor or something, and Dad had that junkyard down there, and mostly Fords at that time. And we'd get motor and transmission, whatever we need down there, and put it in This one I have is a real pretty 56 Mercury, man. It's a pretty car. Kind of that peach color and black and white. Used it quite a while. Then we got a station wagon, a 57 Ford station wagon with that fake wood grain on the, kind of like on the sides and all. I don't know what they call it, the country squire or whatever it was. But that was a dadgum good car. Of course, it didn't have a motor. We had one there at the house and put it in it. And man, me and my brother, we'd get to where we decided we didn't want an automatic. Well, we'd put a standard in it, And after a while, we got to rechange that thing 45 minutes to an hour because the first time we didn't put all the bolts back in. It made it so much easier the second time around. But anyway, this is just a little bit of a nonsense thing. I ain't been outside doing a lot because it's been pretty cold. Today I'm out there working. I got to go change the thermostat in one of my Subarus. I don't know, it's getting hot for some reason. I don't know. I know they're notorious for head gaskets, but I don't see any signs of it getting, head gasket problem right this time. Of course, it could be. But anyway, that's just some of the nonsense I used to do when I was a kid. That's how I kind of got used to, or gotten the idea of working on machines. And before it was usually cars and bigger stuff, and then later on, like in the 70s, I was trying to mow my grass, and Dad got a mower wouldn't start. And I said, well, that's enough of this stuff. I'm going to start figuring out why this stuff ain't working. So I got really tinkering with it and everything. Next thing I know, I got into doing it for other people. They said, well, would you look at mine? I said, yeah, I tried. I don't know if it's any luck or not. And most of the time it always did work out. So everybody started bringing them there. I had a regular job in a print shop, but in the summertime I'd do this on the side, everything, which was good. And then later I went to work at the Capital City up there in a rental store. And boy, there you get a diversified things to work on. It could be a wallpaper steamer, could be a jackhammer, diesel compressor, track hoe. Yeah, we had that. It was just fun. I liked that. Yeah, I really did, but I didn't like to be 50 miles away from home all the time, so I gave that up, and that's the way that was. Well, anyway, if you got bored about a third of the way through this, I understand if you want to move on to some other video, that's okay. I just want to put this out because I haven't done many videos lately, and because of the weather. I like doing stuff outside mostly. So anyway, y'all take care, and thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing.